Hi everyone. Today we are going to look at studying bones in a little bit more detail. So what you're going to find is that I have posted a lesson titled What Can We Learn from Bones? When you click on this link, first thing you'll be doing is watching this video, and then I have posted a set of slides that contain some notes. I want you to go through these notes and watch the presentation. You'll have to click through slide by slide. Take notes as you read. It's very important. I want you to have notes about the objectives. The objectives are, what can we find from studying bones? We've talked a little bit about this already as we started our lesson on anthropology. But what you're going to learn from this lesson is some information with respect to gender, age, height, and the age, gender, height, and race. Race. From finding skeletal remains. So as you go through this particular lesson, we're going to look at how bones are formed, distinguishing between male and female skeletal remains, so that's gender, explaining how bones contain a record of injuries and diseases. We'll look at a little bit of that. You're going to describe how a person's age could be determined. And as review, we're going to be looking at mitochondrial DNA, and we've studied that already when we looked at our DNA unit. So each time you come to a slide that has some information and questions, I want you to put the answers to the questions that you see here in your notes. So this is to get you thinking about what we've already studied with respect to forensic anthropology. As you continue through this, you're going to see a lot of information about bones, how they're developed, some significant parts of bones. And there are a couple of slides that contain a link to a website that's going to help you learn more about gender and age as you go through this presentation. Then, when you have finished this presentation and go through all of the slides and have really good notes, you will go back to that website and you'll click on the link here. It takes you to the same website that's posted in the notes. And from here, you're going to be able to go back through and look at race and height, because those will be the two areas that we didn't cover using those slides. So as you go through here, there's a lot of good information. Notice that it says this is a worksheet. And the reason that it says worksheet is because it gives you information, and then it has you answer a few questions. So if you look at these two images of pelvic bones, you would, if you had this on a piece of paper, you'd be circling the appropriate answer. You can just list the answers in your notes, and you will have a list of information about female pelvic bones and male pelvic bones. And in addition to that, you've got other information with respect to the skull. This would be a very good chart to make sure you have in your notes. Very good chart to have in your notes. And then it gives you the opportunity to look at the two images and, based on the information here, determine which of these skulls would be male and which would be female. And then it gives you a third one as well with respect to just looking at one skull so that you don't have anything to compare it to. Then you'll read a little bit about race, go back through some of the age information, and then significantly here at the bottom is the information about height. And you're given some very detailed information about calculating an estimated height for an individual based on the size of bones. So as you look here, you've again got it separated by female and male. If you've ever been to the doctor's office when they take some of your measurements, look at your height, and then compare that to your age. Sometimes, they'll tell you what your what percentile you fall in, and that percentile is, a comparison of many other people in your age bracket and of your race and of your gender. So as we look at your height when you're at the doctor's office, that same information where they look at your percentile is how they look at this information here with respect to calculating the height of males and females. I know recently when I was at the doctor, they were looking at my youngest son's height and told me he was in like the 40th percentile or something, and the doctor asked me my husband's height, and then he was asking me about my height and trying to give us a little bit of an idea of approximately how tall he thinks our son would be. And all of that is based on information related to approximate ages and heights of various individuals. So with this information, you'll be able to fill out the bottom of this worksheet. And given the length of particular bones, the femur and the humerus and the radius bones, you're going to be able to calculate the approximate height in inches, feet in inches, and then in centimeters. I'm particularly interested in making sure that you can read the chart and calculate a height. It would be great if you could do it in all of these units here, but specifically make sure you can at least get just the inches. Okay, if you have a little bit of trouble with the conversions to feet and inches and centimeters, we can look at that the next time that we're together. So other information, there are other examples here that you can do, and then there's a set of 5 questions at the very end. Make sure that you can answer these 5 questions. These questions are going to summarize everything that you've learned from the slides that I have posted and the website here. So gender, age, race, and height, all of these are questions that you can answer by going through this particular lesson. When you're finished, I want you to submit your notes to me. I will have a Dropbox ready for you to submit your notes. If you type them, you can just attach the Dropbox or attach it to the Dropbox. If you handwrite it, you can just take a little picture using your camera or your phone, as long as you can get me a picture or scan it, so that I can see that you took notes and answered the questions in the worksheet. And that's how you will receive credit for this lesson. And those are the only 2 things you have to do with respect to this lesson on what can we learn from bones. So let me know if you have questions about this, and please read carefully and take really good notes. Do a good job so that you learn a lot and that you can identify the differences in gender, age, and specifically height as you're going through these activities, because this information will be tested on the unit test for anthropology and autopsies. Thank you very much and have fun learning.